Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at probably 30 or so graded books that I picked up in the past 4, 5, 6 months. So let's just jump in. I'll probably leave most of them in their bags, so apologies if there's any weird reflection with that. But first up we have Amazing Spider-Man number 14. This is a 6.0. It's an old label. I was considering cracking this guy out and maybe trying to shoot for a higher grade, but I'll probably just leave it. I think it has a definite good chance at a 6.5, maybe even a 7.0, but you never know. So anyways, First Green Goblin, great book, and Hulk appearance as well. Next up is another Spider-Man. It is number 122. Spoilers, of course, Death of the Green Goblin. Classic cover here by Romita. This is a 7.0. Up next is another key issue. It is Avengers number 4. First appearance of the Silver Age Captain America. Or first Silver Age appearance of Captain America. This book is really nice. Very sharp for a 4.0. Back cover looks just fine too. Up next is a Batman 189. I think I showed a couple of these in my recent Raw videos, but I managed to pick up a graded copy. Mid-grade. Up next is a Golden Age Captain Marvel. Looking through his little microscope there. This is number 35 and it's a 7.5. After that we have Cryptid Terra, number 19. I used to own one of these, a graded copy. I'm not sure if it was the same grade or 4.5, or maybe this is the same book, I'm not certain, but wanted to pick up another one. A lot of ECs have been heating up lately, and I like this cover. And just a little more context on this book. So this was before they switched it to, what was it, Tales from the Crypt. They had the Cryptid Terra. After that, one of my favorite books I picked up recently. I think I made an Instagram post on it a while back as well. Detective Comics, number 12. The really awesome, I think this is a Flessel cover, yep, Craig Flessel. This is a 3.5, looks much nicer, but the notes say it's got a small piece out of page 32, which slightly affects the art. But I'll take that for a sharp looking copy like this. This copy presents like a 6.0 or so. So awesome book, early detective, pre-Batman, cool cover. Classic detective sort of vibe from 1938. Just really happy to have that book. This book came from a guy that usually sells pulps, but I was lucky enough to get one of his only comics. Up next I've got a couple other detective comics, but these are all post introduction of Batman. I won't take that one out of the bag, but this is number 59. Which is the second appearance of the Penguin. It's got brittle pages. To me, it actually looks like a 1.0 just because it's, got like a missing corner pieces and whatnot. But I picked up this book and these other two as a lot from a seller. So they've all kind of got some issues, but I think I paid like $500 or $600 for all of them, so pretty happy with that. This is number 60. First appearance of Airwave. This one's conserved. and the notes say on it, spine split, sealed to cover, and the cover reinforced. This might have been just before the introduction of the conserved grade. It still has a purple label. I think they do it differently now. Not sure if they do green or no, that's qualified. I don't know what color they do, but pretty solid book. Just, you know, conserved because it's got the reinforcement. Got a cool book, early detective. Up next is number 61. Another early Batman book here. This is the first Batplane cover. Don't think it's the first appearance of Batplane. Not really liking the lighting here, but can't really do much about that, so my apologies. This book, again, unfortunately doesn't quite look like a 2.0 just because of all the spineware that it's got. But for what I paid for these 3 books, I'm happy. Next up, we have a couple Fantastic Fours. I'm just going to move this stack to the floor real fast, though. Okay. First up, we have number 3. This is a 2.5 lower grade copy. Back cover. Up next is another book I was really excited about. I'll even take it out of the bag for you guys on this one. This is Fantastic Four number 12. Mid to higher grade copy. It's a 7.0. It's even got one of those CVA stickers, which if you ever do coins, it's kind of like a third party to the third party grading, which basically looks at the book and, you know, gives it the sticker or stamp of approval if it looks like a 7.0 or better. So it's CVA exceptional, which it's kind of hard to do with comics because you can't look inside of them, but it's the seal of approval for extra eye appeal, I guess. So yeah, this is a pretty sharp book for 7.0. I love this book. Love the Hulkverse thing fights, you know, 25, 26, 112. Any Hulk appearance, actually, because Hulk is my favorite character. But this is a really cool early Marvel. Silver Age Marvel. Hero Silver Age Marvel. Up next is first copy of this book I've ever owned. Flash number 105. Kind of the continuation of the numbering from the Golden Age series. First Silver Age Flash with his own title. First appearance of Mirror Master. This is a lowish grade copy, but it's pretty solid. I think this book has room to move up a little bit, especially with how much Showcase number 4 has been picking up, which I've never actually owned one of those books either. But first copy of 105, happy to have it. Up next is a Ghost Rider number 1. Of course, Marvel Spotlight number 5, which I think I have one in this lot. Who's been picking up a ton of steam lately. I don't exactly know why. I think in modern comics they reintroduced or introduced like a new Ghost Rider, so maybe that's part of the reason why. Like a Punisher Ghost Rider or something. I don't know. Maybe they're doing something with the property in film or TV. Oh, I guess, yeah, no, they do have the Ghost Rider in that Marvel TV show. I haven't watched that one yet, though. But here's number 1. Nice mid-high grade copy. Up next is, speaking of Punisher, I think this is the third appearance of the Punisher. Cool Bronze Age book. High grade. Oh, yeah. Well, no, this book's probably even more significant to me than the Detective number 12 I showed earlier. This is Incredible Hulk number 1. Picked this up at auction a month or 2 ago. It's a really beautiful book. Only issue, of course, is that little price sticker up top. And I might consider having it removed. Not sure. It's got some of the Newton ring effect thing. I think I need to send it in to get a inner case thing anyways, but yeah, just got that sticker attached to cover. Otherwise, it's a solid 3.5. At one point, probably 4 years ago, I had 4 copies of Hulk #1 and haven't been able to hold on to one, so I'm happy to have another one back. Here's the back cover. So yeah, of course, not much else to say about this book. First Incredible Hulk, first Rick Jones, Betty Ross, and General Ross. We've got Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, just awesome book. So that's definitely probably the best book that you'll see in this video. Up next is The Incredible Hulk. Oh, sorry. Iron Man #55. First appearance of Thanos, of course. Thanos. Drax as well. Star Fox, Kronos, Blood Brothers. Lots of first appearances in this issue. This is kind of when Jim Starlin took the Bronze Age of Marvel to the cosmic universe, you know. Sharp copy, 8.0. Another one that's still going up even after Thanos appeared in the movie. I think that's because, you know, of course, it's only part 1. But that book still has a little bit of room to rise. Up next is a low-grade book, Journey into Mystery #50. Just a really classic Senate cover. Like this book a lot. Have a raw copy as well. And this one's low-grade, but looks better than 2.5. It's the covers detached. After that is another key issue of a Marvel title. The first appearance of Thor. Journey into Mystery 83. I think I picked this one up 3 or 4 months ago. It's got this like paint swirl thing going on the cover. Other than that, it's really solid book. They just kind of heavily downgraded it for that. So it's a 1.8. As you can see, very solid book. Just the swirl is kind of the only major detractor. But I haven't had a first appearance of Thor in a little while. I think I sold my 3.5 earlier this year or late last year. So happy to have at least something. Because all of these Marvel keys have been spiking. The X-Men, I think I don't have an X-Men #1 anymore. I just sold the 2.5 for like $3,000. Here's another Journey into Mystery. It's 103. The first appearance of the Enchantress and the Executioner. Lower grade copy. I need to move these books to the floor real fast. Up next is a book that I mentioned earlier, Marvel Spotlight #5, first appearance of the Ghost Rider and Roxanne Simpson. Beautiful cover. I actually tell you guys a little story. When I first got into comics, probably almost 15 years ago or so, I knew a guy that had a 9.8 Marvel Spotlight #5. I think at the time he was offered like $5,000 for it. And you know, of course, at that time I'm like, whoa, that's, you know, crazy. But then I just checked GPA the other day to see what they had sold for. And I think there was one 9.8 copy of this book that sold for almost $50,000. And so, you know, of course, you wish you could go back in the past and offer the guy $6,000 and hope he would take it. But very tough book to find in high grade. I think 9.6s sell for, you know, 10 to 15,000. So 9.8s for 50,000 seems crazy, but that's what happens. After that, we have a Marvel Tales #28. Just a cool little atlas book. After that, we have Nightmare number 3. I think I mentioned this book in my last Raw video as well. Cool book, classic, you know, horror snake cover, pre-code book, published by St. John. I think it's got a crack on the back though, which is kind of common with these old case books. Again, this is another one where, you know, I might consider getting it regraded just because you might get that old label goodness bump from a resub, but I don't know. I'll probably just keep it as is. Definitely get it recased at least. That's a cool book.